Welcome everybody to another The In Between. We are finally here. The road to WrestleMania is finally come to a close, and it's upon us this Saturday and Sunday. I wish I had tickets, but alas, I really don't want to spend that much money going over there for, I'm not gonna say shitty seats because I never been to one, so I can't say what it looks like depending on how much money I spend for a ticket. All I do know, just for ramp tickets, being seated at the ramp, costs about $4 grand. So you can imagine what it's probably going to cost at camera side or not camera side. Uh, Meaning as if you're looking at the camera versus where the camera is. But it's probably, $7 grand just for that at WrestleMania. Who knows how much it costs at a regular pay per view event that's not, WrestleMania. That's in the basketball stadiums and not, the football stadiums. But anyway, let's move along to what I do normally do for these pay per view events, and that is run down the list of cards and then my take on who I think is gonna win. Plus, this time around, I'm just gonna go with my picks plus what the bets are. So let's get the show on the road. The first night on Saturday, the tag team turmoil match with Lana and Naomi, Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose, the Riot Squad, and Natalia and Tamina. Now, the winners of this match will go on Sunday to face the Women's Rock Tag Team Championship match the next day with, versus Nia and Shayna Baszler. Now, my picks for this one is Natalia and Tamina. The reason why I go for this is they're pretty much on a good roll, and we haven't really seen, I think they're about the only people that can, take on Nia and Shayna Baszler because we need to mix it up. Honestly speaking, I think Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler can go on until somebody gets bumped up from NXT. With Natalia and Tamina, I think anybody of the former in this terminal matchup can actually probably beat them later on down the road. I don't see the Riot Squad winning just on, whatever. It's the Riot Squad. Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose. Yeah. I can see it, but at the same time, I don't see him carrying, as much weight as leading the tag team women's division right now. Not, Lana Naomi. Side note, I don't know why Lana went back to a ponytail. She did. She had let her hair down one night, and then next thing following week she had her hair back up in a ponytail. Me personally, I think she looks better without the ponytail, but hey, she needs her stick and the ponytail. That's what it is. Unfortunately, I can't give the point spread because it's not on there. It may be on there a little later. Who knows? So I think Natalia is going to win on Saturday and then win again on Sunday. Next card is Cesaro versus Seth Rollins. By the way, I don't know the full which match is going next. I'm just going down. So Cesaro versus Seth Rollins. Now, Cesaro is on a bit of a hot streak against Seth. He's pretty much on a hot streak, regardless of past matches of the past matches he had. We haven't seen Seth in ring, until Nakamura. He won against him twice, so I'm going with Seth Rollins on this. His point spread is plus 200, so he's the favorite to win for this. I can't wait to see what happens after this. If he loses, what's next? If he wins, we know again what's next after Cesaro on SmackDown. Rumor has it Murphy might get involved one way or some way, and I don't know why he would. We had that whole Messiah disciple thing fall out, and then they tried to rekindle it, but I don't think it went anywhere. Anyway, uh, the New Day versus AJ and almost for the Raw SmackDown champions. I would have to give this to AJ and almost because just on almost sorry Omos's size alone, I think he'll be pretty dominant. But at the same time, they, you know, I think they'll want to give it to AJ because if they give it to AJ, he'll become a Grand Slam champion. I think that would really help AJ's career wise going forward. Hall of Fame status of him being a Grand Slam championship because that's all he needs. I don't remember if it still counts if with the OC. Like the New Day. I mean, I know it was just him plus the OC. I don't know if that counts. It doesn't seem like it did because he's just his own person. Uh, but yeah, I would like to see AJ Omos win this on account of I can't at the top of my head I can't think of any other men's in the tag team division on Raw. So because Shelton Benjamin and Alexander. They lost prior, but I don't know going forward if are they going to be still tag team champions. We don't know because honestly, it's just New Day, the ex, Hurt Business, and I think uh yeah, and Lucha House Party, which we haven't really much seen up until they were teamed up with Riddle getting the U.S. Championship. So yeah, I'm going with AJ Styles and Omos. Their point spread is minus 400. So quite the underdog. Quite the underdog. Next up is the steel cage match against Shane McMahon and Braun Strowman. Now, obviously, realistically, Braun should win this. However, there was also the cage fight of Shane and KO. I can't remember the event, but KO, you know, beat down Shane. All of a sudden, Shane's crawling over. KO's grabbing his shirt, and then Shane slips, takes off his shirt, and then crashes down and wins the match. I feel like this is the similar event, only this time you're gonna have Elias and Jason get involved, one shape, form, and then Shane will win this match. His odds are for Shane is plus 300, so he's kind of heavily favored, not so much, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Shane McMahon on this. Next up is Bad Bunny and Damian Priest versus Miz and Morrison. Honestly, I don't know why they made this a tag team match. I kind of know why they made it a tag team match. If this was Bad Bunny versus The Miz like it originally was supposed to be, I would have put my money on The Miz because we haven't seen much of Bad Bunny in the ring. This will be his in-ring debut, and he's been in WWE walking around with Damian Priest backing him up as his bodyguard since the Rumble. And I wish we would have saw at least a glimpse of him, how this is going to happen. So maybe they were using this all this time to train him up to WrestleMania. It would have made sense, but now they made it a tag team match. Honestly, I can't really pick a winner. I mean, like I said, if it was Bad Bunny versus Miz, I would have picked the Miz just on principle alone and experience. But now they made this a tag team match with now you add Damian Priest, which kind of makes it a handicap 2-on-1, 1-5, 1.5 match. Because for some odd reason, I think Damien's gonna. I can see it happening. Damien, distracting the ref, does something to the legal man, whether it's Miz or Morrison. It's probably going to be the Miz. Tags in, Bad Bunny, and then he'll do like something off the ropes, like he did in Mania. Frog splash, and then 1, 2, 3, they win. I can see that totally happening, but you never know. This is WrestleMania. Anything can happen, just like the Rumble, surprise entrance. Uh, so the point spread on this one for BD and Damien is negative 550. Miz Morrison has a plus 500. Man, I wish I'd looked at this before the tag team to see what the spread was. I wonder how if people bet on this. I wonder do they get their money back, or does it just transfer over to what it was? Moving on, Sasha versus Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Championship. For this one, I'm gonna go with Belair, uh, because I would like to see Belair face Carmella. Maybe Bailey will come back, and face her because right now, yeah, I don't know who else if Sasha wins, who else would she face? Mm, somebody from the Riot Squad, maybe. Natalia and Tamina, probably not. Uh, yeah, so I'm gonna give to Belair on count of we're gonna need some more people to face her at Money in the Bank. So her point spread is negative 400. Yeah, so that's that's about it for that one. Next, the last night of the night is Bobby versus Drew McIntyre. I'm gonna go with Bobby on account of we thank you, Drew, for carrying being the face of WWE for all of 2020. You know, I know there was no fans, but you did a hell of a job carrying the torch for a year. Now I think it's time to move on, move on to the next guy, which is Bobby. Uh, yeah, Bobby. I think he's gonna win. His point spread is one plus 150. Side note, I can't remember if it was CBS Sports or the Bletcher Report saying this would be a good time for Brock Lesnar to come back. Since there's fans in the audience, this is his time to shine. Come back, make his presence known, and we'll see Bobby versus Lesnar, or maybe not. Once if Bobby wins, who's next on the slate? Well, there's always Keith Lee. I mean, I know he's injured, but he's there. I know I forgot what the injury was, but yeah, or maybe he's taking uh, a honeymoon vacation right now. Who knows? I know he was injured. I can't remember how long, but he's always there. He's there. Uh, yeah. So moving on along. Sunday again, women's tag team championship match versus tag team tournament. I already said it. I think Natalia and Tamina are going to win on Saturday, and then come Sunday, they're going to win that and mix it up on SmackDown because we haven't really seen much of the tag team titles being brought to SmackDown unless they just want to show up. Talking about Nia and Shayna. So anyway, so yeah, I think Natalia and Tamina are gonna win, and they'll bring the titles over to SmackDown. Even though I know they can go back and forth, but they primarily stay on whatever roster who has it. United States Championship, Riddle versus Sheamus. I'm gonna go with Sheamus on this. I think he needs a belt bad on account of he didn't really get a fair shake against Drew. Riddle had a good run. There might be a rematch where he'll become a two-time United States Championship. There might be, going back and forth on that. But again, I'm going with Sheamus. Sheamus, he's a plus 120. And then we'll see what happens going to Money in the Bank. Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. I think just on principle alone, I think Kevin Owens is going to win. Rumored, like I said, I don't know who wrote it. They kind of blend together for me, whether it was CBS Sports or the Bletcher Report. Um, what's his name? Logan Paul might, turn on Sammy and then join Kevin Owens. Or maybe he might do something against KO and then they'll have a KO versus Logan Paul. Who knows? I think they need to do this one celebrity at a time. Once Bad Bunny wins, he's out, and then Logan Paul takes his place. Uh, who knows? Who knows? But KO is a minus 350 against Sammy. The Intercontinental Championship match: Big E versus Apollo Crews in a Nigeria drum fight, which is just another title for no DQ match or street fight, even though they're all the same. They just, magic slap on word, fancy word for DQ. For this, I'm going with Apollo Crews. I think during a no DQ match, Apollo Crews is dangerous versus just a straight up wrestling match. If it was, it would be Big E. I think this might be a turning point for him. He definitely needs a belt. I know he had the U.S. Through 2020 or a quarter of it, I should say. Now he's on SmackDown, and so thus I think he needs the Intercontinental for that. Who will be after him? Maybe Kevin. Maybe he'll take it from him. Uh, Shinsuke, possibly. Who knows? But yeah, I could see Apollo Crews winning this, and then yeah, there's none too about it. It'd be nice. It'd be nice to see if there was actually drums in near the ring during this fight, because that would be pretty awesome. Apollo Crews point spread is negative 140. Next up, we have the Fiend Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton. I'm gonna agree with the article. This card's probably gonna be boring. Yeah, there's nothing too much about it. I think this is the last. Hopefully, this is the last chapter in the Fiend versus Orton. Uh, Mike's not Mike, but headphones checking. What I say? Yeah, I'm hoping this is the last chapter in the Fiend versus Orton chapter. Once this is over, we can move on. Orton can probably go towards, maybe the U.S. Championship. He can face Sheamus for the U.S. Championship. Um, Going forward, I don't know who the Fiend will go after. Who knows? I don't want to see the Fiend and Orton battling out for the remainder of the year. I hopefully it doesn't last until uh, Hell in a Cell. But you never know. You never know what the McMahons and the producers are thinking. You just don't. But for this one, I'm going to go with The Fiend. He's at a point spread of negative 550 or 950. So I, I would, if I had money to burn, I'd definitely that'd be a lot of change. Dropping $100 on the Fiend for to winning that one. Next up is Raw Women's Championship: Asuka versus Rhea Ripley. Now, again, this goes back to what I said about Drew. Thanks Asuka for holding it down, for the year. Although there was that little bump with Sasha winning that and then her winning it back. But then again, to let's just say discredit on her, there was not much in the Raw Women's division with who was there. Nia Jax, uh, Shayna Baszler was there, but then she, like, oh, well, we were gonna put you against Asuka, but we're gonna team you up with Nia Jax, so you can take the tag team titles from Sasha and Bailey, and then they just ran through tag team division. But as far as the women singles competition goes on the Raw side, there wasn't much there. There wasn't much there. I keep saying they really need to bump up a lot of people from NXT to Raw so we can have a good division in the Raw and at least both sides of talent wise going Raw and SmackDown because there ain't much. There really isn't much. But yes, uh, the Queen came back, but she got COVID, so we needed somebody. Well, Rhea Ripley. Well, Rhea, I know you were coming to Raw, but here you go. First night, you're gonna get a Raw opportunity for the championship. However, she's not gonna win. It'd be weird if she did. I mean, I don't know where they're going with this if she wins. Once she wins, and then you know, Flair comes back, wins it from her, and then again, Asuka challenges her again, unless Nia or Shayna once they finally lose, and then that opens Pandora's box as far as Shayna challenging Asuka or Nia challenging Asuka, uh, or whoever. But yeah, my pick is Asuka at a plus 250, and once she wins, and then Nia and Shayna loses, they can fight each other to figure out who's number one contender to face Asuka, and then I I can't remember if I said when I think what's her face oh man, the Irish Lass, the man, Becky Lynch. Um, yeah, it might be SummerSlam when she comes back. Maybe. Who knows? At, at at the earliest, I think it'll be SummerSlam that she comes back, and then she'll get her title back, and then she might move to SmackDown. I think that would be the best option for Becky Lynch to go to SmackDown once she comes back. If she doesn't win, the Raw title back or whatnot. But yeah, Oscar wins this one, and then we could see Oscar versus Flair at Money in the Bank. And not but not least is the Universal Championship: Reigns, Edge, and Daniel Bryan. Now, in that article, they made a good point. One of those articles, they made a point. Reigns, if Reigns wins, who else is there to challenge him? Edge is now a heel, I guess. Uh, I, yeah, I guess. Daniel Bryan, if he wins, well, he can face Edge, he can face Reigns, he can face anybody else that wants to step up. No contracts aside, we don't know if he's going to re up or not, or they're going to re sign him. Don't know. But yeah, let's look at this. If Reigns wins, who else is left? Who can challenge him? Maybe we'll finally get if Edge sticks around. We'll finally get a one-on-one at Money in the Bank. Uh, Seth Rollins, sure, that would be nice to see for the Universal title. Seth never held the. Or wait, yeah, yes. Take that back. Yeah, yes. He hasn't held that since. What was that? Late 2019. The Fiend took it from him, I believe. Yeah, Fiend took it from him, but I can't remember when. I think it was late 2019. Uh, yeah. Who else? Big E. Once he loses the Intercontinental, he's there. I can't remember if I said it before. Going into what was it? Clash of Champions. I don't think I did this around Clash. This type of podcast around Clash. I think I just said it to myself. But yeah, Big E got injured by Sheamus, got taken out the Fatal Four, and then insert Jay, and then the rest of that story. I think I think it was supposed to be Big E that challenged Roman for the Universal at Clash. Didn't happen, but he went the Intercontinental route. Okay, fine, made it up to him. Who else? We they brought back Kevin Owens. For a second. Reigns versus KO Part Two from 2016. Roadblock. I thought they were gonna be. I thought they was gonna do the cage match, the short cage match, a la Jericho. Only this time it was gonna be Jay up there. Nope, I guess not. They were just gonna do TLC match and then Falls Count Anywhere with the botch key. But that whole fiasco. Who's next? Who? I mean, there's a lot of people, but what box office name can we put up there? How about Shinsuke? I think he was supposed to be the guy going into the Rumble. Nope, they screwed that over. Like that would have been nice to see. Well, he couldn't get the WWE Championship from AJ Styles in what was it 2018. So how about we give him a shot at the Universal title now? Nope, we're gonna give it to KO. All right, so can't give it to Big E. You can't give it to Shinsuke. You're not giving us a lot of options here for him losing the title. Uh, I would hate to see Brock Lesnar go to SmackDown. I mean, he quit SmackDown, took the championship belt to Raw, so that's how they switched that around. Uh, yeah. So I don't see Reigns winning on account of that theory. Edge, kind of the same thing as Reigns. Whew, something in my nose. Same reason. Sure, if he gets the Universal title, it's not the same as not losing. What was it the heavyweight championship? Anyway, I think it was a heavyweight, but Universal is essentially the same thing, but it's not counted as the same thing, quote unquote. Uh, like if Edge wins, who's he gonna face? Reigns again. You know, yeah. Uh, finally get that one on one. That's about it. But if Daniel wins, that kind of lowers the bar for anybody else to challenge him. So from a writing standpoint, uh, he's it. Uh, but then again, do we really want to see Daniel Bryan win again? A la WrestleMania 30 when he tapped out Batista, the Royal Rumble winner of that year. It's kind of similar. Like it's very, very similar. Hopefully, this time he's going to go in healthy. He didn't have to fight Triple H just to get in that match. So he doesn't have to fight somebody that, earlier that day just to get in the later that match. So he's going to go in fresh. So that's the big difference. However, I'm going to have to go with Daniel Bryan winning this just for writing's sake of lowering the bar of, going forward. His point spread is plus 200. Yeah. Even though everybody else, Reigns is a plus 150, and I think Edge is 100, plus 100. So you if you bet on this match, you're not going to get much of a return. Uh, you might as well, if you're going to bet, don't bet on this one. So yeah, that is my WrestleMania picks for Saturday and Sunday. It kind of sucked that Peacock had bought a multi-year deal, so now I have to go to buy Peacock. Luckily, it's a lot cheaper if you just do the WWE network through them and not get super premium version where because I don't care about NBC shows at all. I don't really care about The Office. I mean, it's a good show. Don't get me wrong, but all I hear is, "Oh man, I'm so bummed that Office left Netflix and blah 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 blah." I'm like, yes, it's a good show. Why not? But does it really have that much replayability? A lot of you argue will probably say yes, but not for me. Nah, I'm good. I am good. So I'm gonna get the cheaper version where it just has where I can watch the pay per view of WWE Network. But yeah, thanks for listening to the In Between WrestleMania edition. Look for my solo review of old school stuff. I'm going back in time and then work my way up, and then we'll be recording this Sunday. So thanks again. Hope to get more people listening and whatnot. So signing off.